Bonjour, je suis David Hornus et vous écoutez CheckPoint, le podcast dédié aux questions de défense, de renseignement et de sécurité. Aujourd'hui, vous écoutez l'épisode consacré au continuum de sécurité. Vince, my friend, how are you?
Yeah, well, and you, mate? How's it going?
I'm fine, thank you. It's going great. What I can suggest, I know you are pretty on the rush in South Africa, actually. So as you are nice enough to give us some of your very precious time, would you please right now give us a small and a quick assessment of what's going on in your country and particularly in your city, please, Vince? And I remember the people who are following us. We are now with Vince Swardt, executive of Saraband, a private security company based in South Africa. Vince, you can talk whenever you want, please.
Yeah, Dave, good to hear from you, mate. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much you guys are getting in your sort of media about what's going on this side, but there's been some political unrest of late with former President Jacob ZUMA being incarcerated sort of mid last week. And initially there was some few groups that started mobilizing to protest his incarceration, and this has now escalated into large-scale civil unrest and rioting, where we have large groups of rioters mobilizing and damaging property and infrastructure. I think at the moment, I'm in the car right now, but the last I saw, there were 45 people dead. We've got police injured. We've got the National Defence Force deployed at the moment. They were deployed last night. The president announced last night that they were going to deploy the National Defence Force because really the police is at the moment just not capable of handling the situation.
Okay. Well, thank you for this update. Would you still have some few times to explain us perhaps what is your company providing as services to your client, please, Vince?
Yeah, sure, Dave. Yeah, so I mean, in this particular situation, we have corporate clients sort of based nationally, and of course, these clients have assets and interests both in most of the major cities in South Africa and also in some of the outlying areas. So at the moment, we've been requested to mobilize or engage some of our intelligence networks. We have set up a platform, a communication platform that we use to communicate to our corporate clients and especially their crisis teams. And that's specifically to set up an alert channel for riots that are flaring up in specific locations, and really just to feed them the intelligence in terms of what's happening at the moment.
Okay, thank you very much, Vince. We are in Zoom meeting with Jamie Williamson from International Code of Conduct Association, and Jamie is raising his hand. It seems he has a question for you. So, Jamie, you can ask your question to Vince, who is actually in South Africa and managing the ongoing situation in this country.
Thanks, Dave. Vince, hi, Jamie here.
Hey, Jamie.
Just a quick question. I lived in South Africa for a number of years, and of course we do deal with a number of South African folk on our security stuff. There was actually an interesting piece came out in a newspaper, declarations from your defense minister, who was effectively saying that private security are better armed than the law enforcement folk, and they should step up and help out. Do you see that evolving?
Yeah, mate. I mean, we do. We at the moment, it's sort of gone beyond that, where we have civilian groups that have been mobilizing. There's a lot of a lot of footage coming through and reports coming through of groups, civilian groups that have mobilized with private security firms. And really, they've really taken, their own security in their own hands. They've set up roadblocks into residential areas where motorists are being questioned about their movements, and where they aren't residents, they're not being allowed to pass. So, but with that also, we've seen reports of some of these civilian groups and private security firms, as you say, taking the law into their own hands, and we've seen reports of these groups firing on looters and rioters and so on. So I mean, it really brings with it its own set of problems. I think it just sort of highlights the situation we've got in the country with the police, where they're responding, but their numbers are just not sufficient, and it's they're not really reacting once on the scene because they're being outnumbered. And from what we're hearing, the Defence Force, their role will mainly be to provide presence and to provide security for the police to then be able to do their job.
Well, thank you, Vincent. I know you are very much on the rush and under great pressure, so please be safe, my friend. We know each other since a long time now, and I know you are a great expert. Thank you, Vince Swardt from Saraband in South Africa. If you are still a little bit available, you can stay with us because we are going now to speak about Cabo Delgado, and I know you've been involved in those kind of area recently. And I am welcoming now Pedro. Pedro, bonjour. Pedro, je vais vous laisser la parole. Alors, nous sommes toujours avec Vince. Vince, feel free to go out of the meeting when you need, but feel free to stay with us.
I suppose the first question is this part going to be in English or in French?
Both. So you'll have.
Well, listen, my French is not very good.
No, but you can remain if you want, because Jamie can speak English with you, and you can interact. But feel free to leave the meeting. I know you are very busy, and thank you again, my friend, and please be safe.
I'm going to jump off, David.
Okay.
It's a big pleasure, and talk to you soon.
We'll talk again the next time. Thank you, Vince, for your time, and please be safe and take care. Bye bye.
Thanks, David. Bye bye.